Instagram will kick you off if you're playing too much other people's music for too long. You think you probably gotta, I'm not sure, but it sounds like you gotta cut to the next record pretty quick before they're onto you.
Yeah, because a lot of people. I don't want to just speak for myself, but I just feel like if I turn on a band's live stream, if the little notification comes up and I'm doing something at home, I'm going to turn it on and I'm going to keep it on, but I'm probably not going to pay as much attention as if they were like on stage in front of me. Like I'm going to put my phone down at some point and go do whatever like
Right.
needs to be done in front of me. That it's like
Yeah. I think the challenge with that too is getting good audio. I mean, if I just hear a phone like in a room, it's kind of a turn off. Yeah, but if as long as these guys are, we've been trying to get it figured out. We're trying to get the direct audio and tuning that, running through mixers and stuff, and trying to get it sounding as best possible. That's been a challenge for me, but we little by little have been making progress on that.
mm,
So, that's an important though. I think it's important to be sounding good. As opposed to just throwing your cell phone in the room and cranking your amps. It's kind of a little harsh, but
yeah, that is
no.
especially when live streaming from an iPhone is sometimes iPhones act up, especially if there's a bunch of storage, and then what happens? Your whole thing crashes. You know what happened? There goes.
Yeah, you lost your
live,
stream.
yeah, and if you're live during that and your phone dies on you, your iPhone dies on you. I mean, that would just be, I don't know. I don't even want
Tragedy, dude.
Yeah. So you mentioned the Aggrolites. Did you start playing rhythm for them after you worked on reggae now, or did you kind of already know them a little before that?
Oh, I know him before that. Yeah, we've run shows, even Soulutionaries and Aggrolites would do shows together back in the day. So I've known those guys a while, and I actually worked on the last reggae album. I mixed two of the dubs on that album. One song's called Invasion, and the other song's called Shadow Walk. So I had the privilege of going in the studio when that was going down and mixing some of those dubs, and I actually co-engineered some of that with Roger in his studio. Roger Remus, he's got a great studio also here in the Valley, similar to mine. He's running all analog and stuff like that. So we kind of put our heads together on some of that stuff. He would use some of my microphones and some of my effects and stuff. So it's great working with those guys. And Reggae Now is a killer album. It's old school reggae, and to see it chart so well like it did when it came out, and at this time's crazy, for some old school sounding, 60s reggae and rocksteady to be relevant today is pretty exciting.
Yeah, definitely. I think the thing about the Aggrolites is they have a lot of genuine like substance in their music.
Right, and that's like I mentioned, this from the tape. They do it analog. They cut everything, and they cut all the instruments with amps and like ribbon microphones straight to tape. So. It's not really recreating that. I mean, a lot of these computer programs are getting close these days, but in my opinion, there's not really anything like a straight reel to reel. Hitting instrument straight on that. It just has such a warm sound.
Producing the dub tracks for the Aggrolites, you were already doing the whole production thing like before then, right?
Oh yeah, I've been doing dubs. I've done dubs for Keith and Tex. I've done some dubs for, and just for myself, just getting down in the studio and just doing it. I've always been a fan of doing like Jamaican style dub, live mixing, dubbing is kind of like a little thing I love to do, and I use all analog effects for that. I use tape echoes and spring reverbs and all that stuff, and just do it live on the board, just like they did it in the old days. Yeah. So I'm a big fan of that. I'm a big fan of live, I'm a big fan of recording live, in a band, everybody playing together, and, live to tape, That's my favorite way to get I feel like you get the most feeling from the musicians and the most spontaneity. That's my favorite way to record personally.
Did you just took on production, or did somebody kind of introduce you, or are you just a big fan of and you just kind of listened in?
No, I learned from that. When we first started doing our first Soulutionaries recordings here in Van Nuys, we came into the studio I'm in right now. There's another studio a couple doors down. And there were some of my buddies also from the AV. I don't know if you've heard of them. They were called the Simple Citizens, and they were doing like live hip hop in the AV around the same time Soulutionaries were.
Okay.
So we had linked up from them to do some shows, and they were the first ones to record Soulutionaries. We went in their studio, and I was like blown away. I was like, "What is this?" Because they had reel to reel and all the analog gear. And I'll never forget that first time hearing the playback after we laid it down. I was just like, "Oh my God, this is sound amazing!"
Yeah.
So this was Judd from they were Simple Citizens at the time. They went on to start another band called Jungle Fire.
Okay.
Their rhythm section, and some of the other guys are also in another band called Orgone. but they were the ones that taught me how to do that, how to run, you know, the mixing board and the tape machine, all that stuff. And after I saw them doing that and doing that with our recordings, I was just like blown away. I was like, oh man, I got to do this, you know. So I ended up getting all my own gear, you know, pretty much the same stuff they had at the time, because I just fell in love with the sound. I was blown away, you know, by the warmth and the, you know, it just sounded vintage, you know, it sounded really cool. So yeah, I actually learned from Judd from Jungle Fire now. Yeah, he's the kind of guy who turned me onto that stuff.
Yeah, you know, I don't know if you heard of this LA band. They're called Future Pigeon.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. They're also a dub band. That's like the first band that I really like. Where I heard, I'm like, oh shit, and then like I just kept listening to them. I'm like, man, I fuck with dub reggae, you know, like because
yeah, I've played with some of their horn section. Actually, I've played with Soulutionaries before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They're cool guys. I think last time I played with some of those guys, we were backing Winston Francis, who was a Studio. He was a Studio One singer out of Jamaica who ended up going to England.
Okay.
And Soulutionaries backed him, and we ended up playing with some of the Future Pigeon guys on horn section on that, which was great.
Yeah. No, they're great, man. I wish they're still around. But yeah. So I wanted to ask you about the Expanders. You guys just put that track out featuring
Kyle from Slightly Stupid. Yeah. Sweet slow is the track. Yeah, we cut a single. I might have it right here actually. Here's the vinyl. Sweet and Slow featuring Kyle from Slightly Stupid. You can hit up the Expanders about getting a copy from this if any of you guys are interested. Yeah, that was a great experience. You know, I recorded the rhythm section here in the studio, and it's been great. It's been a killer track for them. You know, we're still doing stuff. We were actually in the studio together last night working on some new material.
Yeah.
So yeah, keeping the ball rolling with the Expanders, it's good.
You playing Roger Remus, you playing Aggrolites, the Expanders, you got Western Time, SKA Orchestra. How do you balance all this stuff, man? Like all these bands together, because people will be like, damn, I barely got time for one band.
Google Calendar. You gotta keep it full months in advance and stay on top of it.
Yeah.
But here in LA, we're pretty blessed. You know, we have a handful of players who we'll all play for each other. You know, if we get double booked somewhere, Cheeky's from the Expanders, who's currently singing now. He will, if I'm with the Aggrolites, he'll come in and play guitar for Horizon, and he'll sub for me in that, or vice versa. You know, we'll kind of work. We can kind of skip around. You know, if somebody's got something to do, we'll get subs. You know, so
yeah,
there's a handful of guys in the LA reggae scene that are capable of holding it down, and we'll do that. And me being one of those guys too, I get a lot of calls to do sub stuff. Like I mentioned, I toured with Long Beach Walls last year, and I was subbing for my boy Devin.
Yeah.
From you know.
Yeah.
So you kind of got to help out wherever help needs.
Wherever you're needed.
Where it needs, because you're gonna need it too at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just stay on top of the calendar. You know, like keep it really tight. Google Calendar. I'm constantly on it.
Yeah. I mean, you know, you can't really beat, you know, whenever your phone just goes off and reminds you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man.
Keep your calendar accurate, you know, and tight and as far advanced as you can.
Yeah. Did you go to school for music, or is it something you just kind of been doing?
No, I've never had any formal musical training. It's just I started playing guitar when I was a kid, and I just started playing with my brother on drums and Jason Beltran on bass. You know, in our first band, the little picture I showed you, and I just never stopped. You know, I just kept learning. You know, listening to tons of records and just figuring things out hands-on. You know, hands-on experience. I'd say being in different situations, different recording situations, or whatever. You know, jamming with different people, you pick up new tricks here and there, and that's about it. You know.
I'm sure you've seen people with music degrees like come around you in certain scenarios.
Oh, the horn players. You know, when I play in Western Standard Time, it's just like they just pull out a binder full of sheet music, and they just kill it. And it's like, and I got to cheat my way through it a little bit. I kind of got to right. You know, these guys, I got to kind of listen back to the records and kind of put some more work into it. And these guys, but yeah, these jazz players, these guys, schooled jazz players can just like pull out a sheet of paper and just rip